Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people.
I had no inflation, virtually no inflation. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country. We have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics.
He'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
You know what they say, opinions are like, well, you know, everybody's got one. But when it comes to this monumental debate, our best gauge of public sentiment is hardly a mirror image of the razor-tight polls in swing states. Rather, what unfolded on national TV was a battle in which Kamala Harris baited the former president, and he bit more than once, and in a manner which diluted his best avenues of attack. Case in point, instead of talking about the victims of predatory homicidal immigrants like those who raped and murdered our own 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary, Mr. Trump chose instead to make this claim.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
5 days have passed and not a single shred of evidence has emerged that the former president's accusation has any merit. An unforced error at a pivotal moment, especially when the ABC moderators, by happenstance or design, failed to press Kamala Harris for specific answers to specific questions and allowed her to falsely claim Trump left office with the worst unemployment rate since the Great Depression. Panel, those are a few of my thoughts. I welcome yours. I'm going to start with you, Bill King, because last week you suggested that this debate would be fighting their own worst instincts. Who prevailed?
Well, I think Harris, all the polling indicates Harris won the debate. That's what the American people think, by 20 or 30 points. But, you know, from a person that cares about public policy, it was just painful for me to watch it. I mean, on one side, she was completely vacuous. She had nothing, no specifics to offer. Every time they asked her a question about a specific or why have you changed your position, she deflected to something. And you get to Trump, and he was just deranged during this debate. I mean, eating cats in Ohio, I mean, seriously, that's what we're going to be talking about in a presidential debate? So, look, I think the big loser was the American people.
All right, Michelle Maples, joining us back from the nation's capital. We're glad to have you, but I know you watched this debate. Was it as bad as all that for Donald Trump?
It was terrible. And it was terrible for everybody. It was awful for Trump, it was awful for Kamala Harris, and it was awful for ABC. And let me tell you what really set my pants on fire was the false statement after false statement made by Kamala Harris, particularly when she made the statement that there are no American troops in active combat zones. ABC let her get away with that statement. Coming from a husband who is a retired lieutenant colonel, tell me there are 3,500 American troops right now in Syria and Iraq. Would you vacation in any one of those places? No, because they're combat zones. And it sickens me that she was able to get away with that comment by ABC.
All right, Marcus, I know you watched this debate and, you know, probably thought Kamala Harris cleaned his clock.
You know, I said last week, and I'll say it again, I watched the debate because I had to, because, of course, we were going to be here talking about it. But I went into the debate clear-minded that of the two people that were on stage, only one of them attempted to overthrow the United States of America through violence. And so the debate, while may be important, it didn't swing the pendulum, I believe, and it shouldn't for American people. Let me clarify something. The statement that past President Trump mentioned about the immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, those were immigrants that came from Haiti legally and came to fill a specific job performance, a job deficit that Springfield had. That had nothing to do with the border, which the Democrats have done a terrible job at. It had nothing to do with the border. It was just talking points to rally up and rile up people watching. And unfortunately, that's what America got from both sides, and from ABC, who I thought did not do a great job at moderating that debate.
Charles, you made a cogent point a couple weeks ago that the Trump team wanted to go against Kamala Harris, and once they got her, once they pushed Joe Biden out, they didn't know what to do with her. Has that position changed on your part?
No, not really. I think in the debate you had three things: policy, performance, and people. I think on policy, I'd give it to Trump because he talked a lot about the policies that he had implemented during his first term and what he might do in the second time. Performance, I'd give it to Kamala because I think she did a very good job. But like Bill said, the people are the ones who lost because ultimately nothing really came out of it. We didn't really learn much of anything. And you know, I think going back to the point about him not kind of knowing what to hit her on, there were a lot of opportunities that just were missed to it. I mean, she's the sitting vice president. He could have responded to everything she said saying, you're in office now, why don't you do it? But it just seems as though there were a lot of instances in which they were just missing the mark and not getting the attacks or the criticisms that he should be getting on her.
All right, Sue Lovell, the Harris campaign came out of their convention with a head of steam. Did this debate performance just increase that?
Look, what she did is she went fishing. She put lures on, cast him out, and he was jumping like a big mouth mouse, and it made him look very, very bad, very non-presidential. And then he couldn't help himself by saying racist things and making things up like eating dogs and pets and everything else, and that really hurt him, and that's what people remember about it. So she went fishing and she caught a big mouth bass.
Can you imagine why he didn't focus more on the victims of predatory migrants that have come here?
You know, he has the attention span of a gnat. And whatever is right in front of him right now is what he focuses on. So that was the latest social media meme that was out there. And, you know, and so that's what he decided to talk about. And that's just who he is, and he's not going to change.
Hold that.